This audiobook unveils the sleep miracle, the ancient secret that your final thought before drifting into slumber holds the power to shape your tomorrow. As promised in the title and thumbnail, you will discover how the quiet moments before sleep become the universe's most receptive doorway. Listen closely now, for tonight, you learn to plant intentions that manifest while you rest. The Sleep Miracle. Introduction. In the quiet hush before sleep overtakes you, a sacred veil parts, revealing a hidden passageway between your waking mind and the boundless realm of creation. This is the doorway the ancients revered, a luminous threshold where tomorrow is written in the soft ink of your final thoughts. As your breath slows and your senses dim, your inner world becomes a vast, fertile field, ready to receive whatever seed of intention you choose to place within it. Those who walked the path of mastery knew this secret well. The last whisper you offer before surrendering to dreams does not fade into silence. It travels outward, rippling through the unseen currents that shape your reality. In these twilight moments, you are closest to the universal mind, unburdened by resistance, unguarded by doubt, and open to the infinite. This wisdom has quietly guided sages, visionaries, and creators across centuries. They understood that true transformation does not rise from force, struggle, or relentless effort, but from the gentle alignment with universal law at the edge of slumber. For it is here, in the tender space between consciousness and dream, that your desires speak their clearest language. Within these chapters, you will learn to honor this nightly ritual. You will discover how to plant intentions that grow effortlessly, how to align your inner vibration with the life you long to live, and how to let the universe shape your path while you rest. This is not superficial positivity. It is the art of vibrational precision, the quiet science of harmonizing your soul with creation itself. The true power lies not in elaborate techniques, but in the sincere feeling you cradle as your awareness begins to fade. Just as a single seed carried on the wind can birth an entire forest, your final thought before sleep travels into the quantum depths, arranging circumstances with exquisite accuracy. As you move through these teachings, you will learn to speak to the universe in the language it understands best: feeling, faith, and peaceful surrender. And as you master this art, the sleep miracle will no longer be a mystery, but a nightly companion guiding you into the life you were always meant to create. Before we get into the book, comment, "I am ready," to affirm your intention to the universe. Part 1. The Seed of Intention. Chapter 1. The Whispering Sentence. In a small town where roses bloom year-round, Grace tended her flower shop, carrying on the legacy her grandmother had left behind. Each evening, her grandmother would softly murmur, "All is well, and all shall be well," before drifting into peaceful slumber. This simple practice brought an inexplicable serenity to their household, even during the most turbulent times. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in the feeling they evoke. Your thoughts are living currents of energy, charged by the electricity of your emotions. When you merge genuine feeling with unwavering faith, you activate the magnetic force that draws your desires into being. This is the hidden mechanism behind every manifestation, not the mechanical repetition of phrases, but the authentic resonance of heart and mind in perfect harmony. Across town lived Emmett, who spent countless nights wrestling with grief after losing his beloved wife. His evenings were filled with anxious thoughts until he discovered an ancient truth. Gratitude could transform his darkest hours. He began ending each day by whispering, "Thank you for the love that surrounds me always." Gradually, unexpected joys began flowing into his life. A chance encounter with an old friend, a promotion at work, even the appearance of a cardinal that reminded him of his wife's spirit. Emmett's transformation reveals a fundamental truth about your subconscious mind. It does not comprehend negation or resistance. It responds purely to the emotional quality of your thoughts, amplifying whatever you hold with certainty. When you worry, you transmit the frequency of lack. When you trust, you emanate the signal of abundance. As twilight approaches, let this timeless practice become your gateway to transformation. Settle into the stillness of night, allowing your breath to become slow and rhythmic. Let these words arise from your heart. I am already surrounded by peace and favor. Feel them dissolve into your consciousness like ink spreading through clear water, until tranquility becomes your natural state. This is not merely a ritual of words. It is an alignment with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of creation. Chapter 2. The Magnetic Heart. In the dimly lit corner of an antique bookshop, Mabel arranged leather-bound volumes with practiced care. Through years of observation, she discovered a truth more valuable than any tome on her shelves. Her inner world shaped her outer reality with unfailing precision. When her heart sang with appreciation for the morning light filtering through dusty windows, customers arrived with smiles and stories. When anxiety clouded her thoughts about monthly sales, even her most loyal patrons seemed to vanish like morning mist. This is the first secret of the ancient law. Your emotional frequency is the invisible hand that arranges the visible world. Just as a magnet does not strain to attract metal, your desires need not be forced into being through endless action. Instead, they are drawn to you through the subtle current of your sustained feeling state. The universe responds not to your words or deeds alone, but to the electric charge of your emotional certainty. This is why two people can speak the same affirmation, yet experience vastly different results. One speaks from the head, while the other feels from the heart. It is this feeling that becomes the bridge between thought and thing, between dream and reality. Consider now the tale of Teddy, a man whose mind was besieged by constant worry. Each night, his thoughts would spiral into darker possibilities until sleep became elusive. Then he learned the alchemical art of thanking his worries. Instead of pushing against his fears about his daughter's future, he would whisper, "Thank you for showing me how deeply I care for her well-being." Rather than dreading his business meetings, he would say, "Thank you for this opportunity to grow stronger." This simple shift transformed his relationship with uncertainty. By greeting his concerns with gratitude, they lost their power to torment him. More remarkably, his relationships began to reflect this inner peace. His daughter opened up to him about her dreams, and his colleagues sought his counsel more frequently. Here lies the second secret. Gratitude is not merely an attitude. It is a force that reprograms your subconscious expectations. When you thank the universe for what appears to be missing, you signal to your deeper mind that abundance is your natural state. As the night approaches, create your sacred moment of connection. Whisper softly, "Thank you for what is already mine. seen and unseen. Allow this truth to settle into your being as you drift into sleep, knowing that the night itself is organizing countless blessings in your favor. Chapter 3. The Still Water. Your heart is the most powerful magnetic force in your universe. As you walk through the world, it pulses with an energy that draws experiences, people, and circumstances into perfect alignment with its frequency. This truth reveals itself through the quiet wisdom of those who have learned to harness its power. In the heart of a bustling city, Hazel sat before her harp each evening, fingers trembling with familiar anxiety. Her mind raced with questions about upcoming performances, financial concerns, and the endless what-ifs that seemed to multiply in the darkness. Yet one evening, exhausted from the weight of her own thoughts, she simply stopped. Instead of wrestling with her fears, she allowed them to sit beside her like old acquaintances. She breathed, her hands resting quietly in her lap, and something extraordinary began to unfold. In this sacred stillness, melodies she had never imagined flowed through her consciousness. Her performances transformed, touching audiences in ways her technical perfection never had. The mystery of manifestation revealed itself. Stillness is not the absence of action. It is the presence of pure potential. This law operates with unwavering precision in every corner of existence. When you cease the endless struggle to control outcomes, you enter the stream of infinite possibility. Your role is not to force the universe into submission, but to align your heart's frequency with the natural flow of creation. Consider the wisdom found in the garden of Rufus, whose flowers refused to bloom despite his constant attention. Day after day, he hovered over his beds, adjusting soil and water levels, fretting over every leaf and stem. His garden remained stubborn, withholding its beauty until the day he surrendered to nature's timing. "I finally understood," he would later say, "that my worry was casting a shadow over their growth." When Rufus learned to tend his garden with peaceful expectation rather than anxious demand, his flowers burst forth in unprecedented abundance. The soil had not changed, nor had the seeds, only the energy he brought to their care. This truth extends into every aspect of your life. The universe responds not to your actions alone, but to the emotional current that flows beneath them. When you cultivate inner peace, outer circumstances naturally arrange themselves in harmony with your calm expectation. As sleep approaches each night, place your hand over your heart and affirm softly, "In my stillness, everything unfolds with ease." Let this truth settle into your being as you rest, knowing the universe has already moved on your behalf. In this practice lies the key to effortless manifestation, not through force, but through the magnetic power of a heart at peace. Chapter 4. The Silent Partner. In a small village among rolling hills there lived a seamstress named Clara whose hands worked magic with thread and needle. Each morning she would enter her sunlit workshop and pause, offering silent gratitude to what she called her invisible helpers. This practice began quite accidentally, born from a moment when she found herself whispering thanks for the way sunlight caught a golden thread at just the right angle. As the days passed, Clara noticed something extraordinary. When she acknowledged these unseen forces, her work flowed with remarkable ease. Stubborn patterns yielded their secrets, difficult clients arrived in better spirits, and solutions to complex alterations seemed to materialize in her mind as if placed there by gentle, guiding hands. The truth that Clara discovered mirrors an ancient wisdom. You never work alone. Every thought, every intention, every creative impulse exists within a vast field of infinite intelligence. When you align your consciousness with this greater force, you enter into sacred partnership with the universe itself. Consider how a flower blooms, not through force or strain, but through perfect collaboration with sun, soil, and rain. So too does your path unfold through cooperation with forces beyond the physical realm. This truth found further expression through Oliver, a young teacher in a bustling city school. During quiet moments in his classroom, he would silently ask questions about how to better reach his students. Time and again, he noticed books falling open to exactly the passages he needed, or chance encounters bringing precisely the insight he sought. One afternoon, while organizing his shelf, a weathered volume of teaching wisdom tumbled to his feet, opening to a chapter about learning through play. Exactly what he had been pondering that morning. These were not mere coincidences, but evidence of the subtle dialogue between human consciousness and universal intelligence. Your thoughts are not isolated within your mind. They ripple outward into the infinite field of all possibility. When you acknowledge this partnership, you activate a power greater than individual effort. You become a conscious participant in the cosmic dance of creation. The universe responds not to demand, but to harmonious cooperation. It matches your energy, amplifies your intention, and orchestrates circumstances beyond your ability to arrange. This is the art of co-creation, the blending of personal will with universal wisdom. Before bed, murmur these words as you settle into rest. The universe and I work as one mind, one motion, one miracle. Trust that unseen collaboration is already underway. Let this truth carry you into sleep, knowing that countless forces align to assist your journey, just as they have for seekers throughout the ages. Chapter 5. The Golden Thread. A mysterious truth lies hidden in plain sight. Your dreams are not mere flights of fancy, but sacred conversations with the infinite. Like threads of golden light weaving through consciousness, they carry messages meant to guide you toward your highest path. In the depths of night, a woman named Lillian found herself soaring above cityscapes, floating through clouds that sparkled with otherworldly wisdom. At first, she dismissed these recurring dreams as simple escape fantasies. Yet something deeper stirred within her soul, a recognition that these nighttime journeys held profound significance. What Lillian discovered transforms our understanding of dreams themselves. These aerial adventures were not random imaginings, but rather her higher self extending an invitation, beckoning her to trust the quiet voice of inner knowing. Her dreams spoke in the language of pure vibration, translating universal wisdom into images her conscious mind could grasp. The veil between sleeping and waking consciousness is far thinner than most realize. Your dreams serve as a bridge between your earthly experience and the infinite field of possibility. They are not separate from your daily life, but rather an integral part of your soul's ongoing conversation with the universe. This truth found beautiful expression through Booker, a methodical accountant who began keeping a dream journal beside his bed. Each morning he would record the previous night's dreams before their ethereal qualities could fade. What emerged was remarkable. His dreams contained precise guidance about opportunities and decisions that would soon manifest in his waking hours. A business merger he dreamed about materialized weeks later. A symbolic image of blooming flowers preceded an unexpected promotion. Through patient observation, Booker discovered that his dreams were not random, but rather carried messages preparing him for future moments of significance. Your dreams exist as a direct channel to universal intelligence. When you close your eyes each night, you enter a sacred consultation with the infinite. The guidance received may come wrapped in metaphor and symbol, but it speaks directly to your soul's deepest knowing. This is the ancient wisdom. Your dreams are not an escape from reality, but rather a deeper immersion into truth. They exist as a bridge between your conscious mind and the vast field of infinite possibility. By honoring these nocturnal messages, you align yourself with the natural flow of divine guidance. Through dreams, the universe whispers its secrets. Through dreams, your higher self illuminates the path ahead. Through dreams, you remember your connection to all that is. As your head touches the pillow tonight, know that you stand at the threshold of sacred wisdom. The practice is simple yet profound. Whisper softly, "I am safely guided in my sleep. Clarity greets me with the dawn." Allow sleep to become your nightly consultation with infinity. Chapter 6. The River Between Effort and Ease. In a bustling marketplace stood an ancient wisdom, patiently waiting to be discovered. The universe operates on divine timing, not human schedules. You may have noticed how your greatest breakthroughs arrive not through force, but through flow. Luella's small business consumed every waking moment. She rose before dawn, planned exhaustively, and worked until midnight. Despite her relentless effort, success remained elusive, slipping through her fingers like water. One evening, overwhelmed by fatigue, she collapsed into her garden chair. As she watched the sun paint the sky in unhurried strokes of gold and purple, a profound realization washed over her. Nature never rushes, yet everything happens precisely when it should. This truth lies at the heart of manifestation. When you release the grip of anxious timing, you align with the natural rhythm of creation. Your desires are like seeds. They require not just planting, but patient trust in the unseen process of growth. Tension constricts the flow of abundance, while relaxed expectancy opens the floodgates of possibility. Just as a flower cannot be forced to bloom, your dreams unfold according to their own divine schedule. The universe operates with perfect precision. Every delay, every seeming obstacle, serves a greater purpose in the tapestry of your becoming. Consider the tale of Hank, whose modest fruit stand sat at the corner of oak and maple. Unlike his competitors, who frantically advertised and slashed prices, Hank began and ended each day in quiet gratitude. "Thank you for the perfect timing of all things," he would whisper while arranging his produce each morning. Soon customers were drawn to the peaceful energy of his stand. Without struggle or strain, his business flourished naturally, like a well-tended garden. His story illuminates a fundamental truth. Surrender is not passive resignation, but active alignment with the intelligence of the universe. When you trust in divine timing, you move in harmony with the current of creation rather than swimming against it. The law of attraction responds not to your action, but to your state of being. Relaxed conviction carries more magnetic power than anxious effort. Your role is not to force the how or when, but to maintain unwavering faith in the what and why. As you prepare for sleep tonight, allow this ancient practice to realign your energy with universal timing. Lie back, release the tension from your body, and let a gentle smile touch your lips. Breathe deeply and affirm, everything happens just right, just in time, and just for me. Feel these words settle into your being as you drift into sleep, knowing that all is unfolding perfectly in your favor. Chapter 7. The Mirror of Mind. Long ago, a mystic taught that life reflects not what we wish, but what we are. This eternal truth unfolds through those who learn to read its subtle language. In a sunlit classroom, Betsy arranged her students' artwork along the walls, each piece a window into young souls discovering themselves. For years, she had encountered the same daily frustrations: parents who arrived late, children who wouldn't listen, colleagues who misunderstood her ideas. Yet one autumn morning, as she paused before her mirror to straighten her scarf, wisdom dawned like the rising sun. Every interaction that troubled her echoed the very words she whispered to herself. When she thought, "No one listens," her students grew restless. When she silently complained, "There's never enough time," the clock seemed to race. Her outer world was merely dancing to the rhythm of her inner conversation. The law of reflection operates with mathematical precision. Each thought you hold becomes a stone cast into the pool of universal consciousness, rippling outward until it returns as experience. This is not punishment or reward. It is the intimate dialogue between your consciousness and creation. Your world mirrors your predominant thoughts with unwavering loyalty. When you declare lack, circumstances arrange themselves to confirm your belief. When you radiate abundance, life conspires to match your frequency. The mirror never lies. It simply shows you where you stand in relation to universal truth. In another part of the city, Caleb sat before his easel, brushes untouched. His art had grown dark, reflecting years of inner turmoil. Then he discovered the transformative power of blessing his reflection. Each night, he wrote simple truths. "I am filled with creative joy. My work touches hearts. Beauty flows through me effortlessly." Gradually, his canvases began to glow with new life. Galleries that once declined his work now sought him out. His transformation came not from changing his circumstances, but from polishing the mirror of his mind until it reflected his highest truth. You stand now before this same mirror. Every person, every event, every circumstance reflects some aspect of your consciousness. When you bless what you see, you purify the reflection. When you resist it, you dim your own light. The perfect mirror awaits your recognition. It shows not what you want to see, but what you need to see, the precise measure of your current vibration. Each reflection offers a chance to align more closely with the truth of your being. Before sleep, think lovingly. I see harmony wherever I look, because harmony lives in me. Let that thought polish the mirror of your mind until it gleams. Chapter 8. The Gentle Command. In a quiet hospital ward, Minnie noticed how her patients responded differently when she changed her inner dialogue. For years she had pushed against life's currents, wrestling with schedules, pleading with circumstances to bend to her will. Each morning brought new challenges, short-staffed shifts, difficult cases, mounting paperwork. Then she discovered an ancient truth. The universe mirrors not our demands, but our deepest beliefs. When she began speaking to her day as though addressing a trusted friend, remarkable shifts occurred. Instead of muttering, "Why is everything so hard?" she would whisper, "Thank you for showing me the way." Where she once saw obstacles, opportunities emerged. The law of reflection operates with mathematical precision. Your world arranges itself to match your inner conversation, responding not to volume, but to the quiet authority of genuine belief. When you speak to life with gentleness, it answers in kind. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the science of consciousness shaping reality through the power of loving self-suggestion. Consider Leo, who struggled with exhaustion that no medicine seemed to touch. Each night, he would collapse into bed, mentally rehearsing his fatigue. But when he learned to speak to his body with appreciation instead of complaint, transformation began. "Thank you for growing stronger each day," he would say, feeling the truth of these words in his cells. Within weeks, his energy shifted, not through force, but through the magnetic power of aligned belief. Your mind is the artist, your words are the brush, and your feelings provide the colors that paint your tomorrow. The universe does not respond to what you want. It responds to what you embody. When you speak with calm certainty, reality reshapes itself to match your conviction. The mirror never lies. It simply shows you what you hold in consciousness. By choosing words that resonate with the feeling of already having what you desire, you activate the law of reflection in your favor. Your task is not to make things happen, but to align your inner dialogue with the reality you wish to experience. As you prepare for sleep tonight, create this sacred moment. Whisper as your eyes grow heavy, "I allow good things to come easily now." Feel your breath sinking with the rhythm of universal generosity. As those words leave your lips, let them drift like a soft ribbon into the unseen currents around you. In the hush between inhaling and exhaling, you begin to sense how the universe has always leaned toward you, offering its quiet abundance long before you knew how to receive it. What you speak now is not a command, but an opening, an unlocked door through which ease can finally enter. In this gentle surrender, the old tension loosens, the grip of effort, the weight of striving, the belief that blessings must be earned, all begin to melt like mist touched by morning light. You are not forcing your reality to bend. You are simply allowing life to flow toward you as it was always meant to. Every breath becomes an invitation, every heartbeat a soft affirmation that you are ready. And as you settle deeper into that awareness, you feel the subtle rearrangement within the fabric of your inner world. Possibility gathers around you like warm night air, familiar, yet newly awakened. You sense that something long delayed is now free to arrive, not because you reached for it, but because you finally stopped resisting its approach. Chapter 9. The Lantern Keeper. In a small cottage at the edge of town, Delilah established a nightly ceremony that transformed her relationship with possibility. Each evening, as twilight painted the sky in deepening shades of purple, she would light a single white candle. This wasn't mere ritual. It was a physical affirmation of her trust in the universe's perpetual motion. The flame's steady glow became her anchor, a tangible reminder that creation never ceases, even when progress remains invisible to mortal eyes. As she watched the candlelight dance, she understood that manifestation flows not from forceful demands, but from quiet certainty. When you align your physical actions with your spiritual intentions, you create bridges between the seen and unseen realms. A gesture as simple as lighting a candle becomes a declaration to the universe. I trust in what I cannot yet see. In a village far away, Walter discovered this same principle through different means. His modest home contained a special corner where he placed symbols of gratitude. A smooth river stone for stability, fresh flowers for abundance, and a journal filled with thanksgivings for blessings yet to arrive. What began as a humble expression of appreciation soon became a powerful focal point of manifestation. Ideas for his carpentry business appeared in his mind with startling clarity. New clients arrived through unexpected channels. Opportunities unfolded with an ease that seemed almost magical. Yet there was no magic here, only the natural law that governs all creation. When you create physical spaces that honor your connection to universal abundance, you strengthen the channel through which blessings flow. Your outer world begins to mirror your inner convictions. Walter's shrine served as a daily reminder that gratitude isn't just an emotion. It's a frequency that attunes you to life's endless possibilities. By giving material form to his faith, he anchored his intentions in the physical realm, allowing them to take root and flourish. This ancient wisdom teaches us that symbols are not mere decorations. They are bridges between thought and form, intention and manifestation. Every physical gesture of faith reinforces your partnership with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all of life. Before sleep, imagine a small lantern of golden light within your chest and say, "My inner light guides the world I wake to." Let that glow follow you into dreams. Chapter 10. The Secret Room. In the heart of a bustling city where noise and haste ruled the day, Eleonora carved out something precious, a corner of peace within her modest apartment. Each night she would retreat to this space, not to write her stories, but to allow them to write themselves in the fabric of possibility. The space itself was simple: a cushion beside her window, a small table holding a journal, and the warm glow of candlelight. Yet, what made this corner sacred was not its physical attributes, but the quality of consciousness she brought to it. Here, in this intimate space, she learned the art of mental sanctuary. Your thoughts shape more than your future. They craft the very atmosphere you inhabit. Just as a room can be cluttered or clean, your mental environment can be chaotic or serene. The choice is yours, moment by moment, to cultivate inner spaces that nurture your highest vision. When you establish a dedicated space for communion with the infinite, you create a bridge between the visible and invisible worlds. This space need not be elaborate. It requires only your sincere attention and consistent presence. The physical space serves as an anchor, reminding your consciousness to shift from outer concerns to inner knowing. In a quiet neighborhood across town, Arlo discovered this truth through an unexpected portal: his evening shower. What began as a simple cleansing ritual evolved into a powerful practice of mental purification. As warm water cascaded over his shoulders, he visualized all doubt and resistance flowing away, leaving only pure potential in its wake. The water became more than water. It transformed into liquid light, washing away the day's accumulated thoughts and leaving his mind as clear as a mountain stream. In this state of renewed awareness, inspiration flowed freely, and solutions appeared with natural ease. Your physical routines can become doorways to higher consciousness when approached with sacred intention. Every action, however mundane, holds the potential to shift your vibration when performed with presence and purpose. Each evening, as you prepare for rest, remember that the most powerful sanctuary exists within your own awareness. Here, in the quiet chambers of consciousness, you are always at home, always at peace, always in tune with the infinite intelligence that guides all life. Before sleep claims you, find your inner room, that space of perfect calm that exists beyond thought and circumstance. Here, in this timeless sanctuary, whisper softly, "Within my inner room, all is well and ready." Let that sentence be the key that locks out doubt as slumber opens the door to peace. Part 2. The Garden of Alignment. Chapter 11. The Power of Warm Thought. Within the quiet chambers of your mind lies an eternal sanctuary, a space untouched by the world's discord. Here, in this sacred corner of consciousness, you discover the transformative power of creating an inner temple dedicated to your spiritual practice. At first glance, Eleonora's corner appeared ordinary. A cushion beneath her window, a small table bearing a leather-bound journal, and the soft flicker of candlelight. Yet this space held magic, not in its physical form, but in the quality of presence she brought to it. Each evening, as the city's chaos faded, she would sit in this sanctuary, allowing stories to write themselves in the fabric of possibility. Your thoughts shape more than your future. They craft the very atmosphere you inhabit. Just as a room can be filled with clutter or spaciousness, your inner environment can be cluttered with worry or expanded with peace. The sacred space you create within becomes the template for what manifests without. In the depths of night, Myrtle sat in her own chosen corner, learning to transmute the cold echoes of past criticism into words warmed by self-love. She discovered that thoughts, like water, flow more freely when heated by genuine affection. Each evening, she would take one harsh belief inherited from her childhood and hold it in the light of compassion until it softened, transformed. The law of attraction responds not to the words themselves, but to their emotional temperature. Cold prayers, though perfectly phrased, remain frozen in the ethers. Warm intentions, even imperfectly expressed, melt into manifestation with natural ease. This is why Benny, who spent his days learning the culinary arts, found his life transforming not through elaborate affirmations, but through simple expressions of appreciation for each day's gifts, both sweet and bitter. As he stirred his evening tea, Benny would whisper gratitude for the small victories, the sauce that almost worked, the mentor's correction that opened new understanding, even the burned attempts that taught him patience. His practice wasn't perfect, but its warmth was genuine. Soon his kitchen became filled with unexpected joys, opportunities arising as naturally as steam from a simmering pot. This warmth you cultivate in your inner sanctuary is your alignment with Source itself. It is the natural state of your being, the temperature at which miracles germinate, When you approach your nightly practice with this gentle heat of authentic appreciation, you attune yourself to the frequency of creation. As sleep approaches, settle into your own sacred corner, whether it be a dedicated space or simply the quiet refuge of your bed. Let your breath slow to match the rhythm of trust. As your awareness softens, murmur these words with the warmth of genuine feeling. I send warmth and welcome to all that awaits me. Let that gentle heat summon bright tomorrows. Chapter 12. The Harmonic Breath. In the heart of an ancient city, where cobblestone streets echoed with timeless footsteps, Flora sat at her piano each evening. Her fingers hovered above ivory keys as she drew in a measured breath, sensing how this simple act shaped the music that followed. Night after night she noticed a curious pattern. When her breathing flowed like a gentle stream, opportunities arrived with the same natural grace. When her breath grew sharp and hurried, life's melody seemed to scatter into discord. The universe moves in waves, in cycles, in breaths. Each inhale carries infinite potential. Each exhale releases what no longer serves. This rhythm exists not just in your body, but in the very fabric of creation. When you align your breath with this cosmic dance, you tap into the natural flow of manifestation. Your breath holds the key to unlocking the treasures that await you. As you inhale, you draw in universal energy, pregnant with possibility. As you exhale, you surrender to divine timing, trusting in the perfect unfolding of your desires. This is not mere metaphor. It is the living law of resonance. In the quiet hours before dawn, Cyrus sat at his workbench, surrounded by the gentle ticking of countless timepieces. For years he had rushed through life, fighting against time itself, until one day he began counting his breaths as he worked, matching them to the steady rhythm of his finest chronometer. With each mindful breath, he found himself entering a state of peaceful productivity. His repairs became more precise, his customers more abundant, his days more harmonious. Through Cyrus's story, we glimpse a fundamental truth. When we breathe in harmony with universal law, we naturally attract experiences that mirror this harmony. The watchmaker's practice wasn't about controlling time, but about aligning with its flow. His gratitude-filled breaths became a bridge between desire and manifestation. Your breath is both compass and key, showing you when you've strayed from alignment and offering the means to return. When your breathing grows shallow with worry, it signals separation from source. When it deepens with trust, it announces your return to grace. As night approaches, find comfort in your bed and allow your breath to become your teacher. Breathe in believing. Breathe out receiving. Whisper, "My breath and the universe keep perfect time." Sleep within that rhythm's song. As you draw the breath in, imagine it as a silken thread pulling you gently toward the heart of creation itself. In that inward flow, belief rises effortlessly, quiet, steady, and luminous, like a lantern held within your chest. You do not force it. You simply feel it forming, becoming, remembering. The inhale is your affirmation that the unseen is already arranging itself in your favor. As you breathe out, imagine the universe answering you in its own ancient exhale. What leaves your body is not just air, but permission. Permission for life to place gifts in your hands without resistance or delay. Every release becomes a soft surrender, a wordless yes. a clearing of the path before you. What you let go of makes room for what has been waiting to arrive. And as the rhythm deepens, the whisper arises, "My breath and the universe keep perfect time." In that sacred synchrony, you drift into a quiet realm where receiving becomes as natural as dreaming. The rhythm wraps around you like a lullaby of stars, guiding you gently toward sleep, where the gates of possibility swing open without effort, and every breath carries you closer to what you are ready to welcome. Chapter 13. The Word That Waits. In the stillness of twilight, Pearl sat at her window, repeating her cherished sentence like a desperate plea. Abundance flows to me. Abundance flows to me. Abundance flows to me. Night after night, she whispered it with increasing urgency, as though the universe might miss her call if she didn't say it enough times. Yet the more she grasped, the more elusive her desires became. One evening, as moonlight painted silver patterns on her wall, Pearl noticed how a nearby stream flowed without effort. It didn't push or strain. It simply moved in perfect trust. In that moment, she understood. The universe had heard her the first time. Her constant repetition wasn't amplifying her signal. It was broadcasting doubt. When you plant a seed, you don't dig it up each day to check its progress. Your role is to plant it once, with conviction, then step back and allow the invisible forces to work their magic. The law of attraction responds not to repetition, but to unwavering faith, the kind that needs only one clear signal. This truth found beautiful expression in Henry's story. For months, he had diligently repeated his evening affirmations, clutching them like precious stones he feared might slip away. But transformation arrived only when he learned to speak once and release, treating his word as law. His business flourished not through constant affirmation, but through the power of his unshakable expectation. Your consciousness is like a bell. It needs only one strike to send its vibration into the universe. Additional strikes don't strengthen the sound. They interrupt the resonance already in motion. When you speak your intention once and truly let it rest, you demonstrate the highest form of faith. This is not abandonment of your desire, but completion of your role in its manifestation. The universe doesn't require convincing. It awaits your signal, then moves with perfect precision to arrange circumstances in your favor. Your part is to speak with authority, then step back in absolute trust. This is the breath of creation, one clear intention, followed by peaceful allowing. Sacred practice. As you prepare for sleep tonight, speak your intention once with quiet authority. Then whisper, "It is done." Let silence finish the prayer. In this space of peaceful completion, drift into sleep knowing the universe has already begun its perfect response. Let your intention rise softly, like a flame cupped between your palms, steady, unwavering, and sure. You speak it once, not to persuade the universe, but to remind your own spirit of its ancient sovereignty. The moment the words leave you, they settle into the unseen with the weight of something already chosen, already aligned, already unfolding in silence. Then comes the whisper, gentle but final. It is done. In that brief breath, you release the desire from your grasp and return it to the vast intelligence that shapes all things. Nothing more is required. No repetition, no strain, no questioning. The stillness that follows is not emptiness. It is the echo of creation rearranging itself, around your quiet certainty. As you drift toward sleep, you lie within the hush of completion. The universe is already moving, already responding, already weaving your intention into form. Trust the way the night embraces you. Trust the unseen motion working on your behalf. In this soft descent into dreams, you rest in the knowing that what you asked for is on its way, carried toward you with perfect timing. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14. The Cup of Acceptance. A gentle merchant walked through the marketplace, her basket overflowing with fresh flowers. Each morning, passers-by would compliment her vibrant blooms, yet she would wave away their words, saying, "Oh, they're nothing special." Until one day, wisdom dawned in her heart like the morning sun. She was turning away the very abundance she sought. Through the eternal laws that govern all creation, you will discover that acceptance is not pride. It is alignment with the natural flow of prosperity. When you deflect a genuine compliment or resist a blessing, you unconsciously signal to the universe that you are closed to receiving. This creates resistance in the cosmic current that carries abundance to your door. Watch how nature accepts without hesitation. The flower does not refuse the rain. The earth does not reject the seed. The moon does not deny its light. In their perfect acceptance lies the secret of their perpetual renewal. Like Edna, who learned to pause and say thank you with an open heart when others admired her work, you too can cultivate the art of gracious receiving. Notice how her simple shift in response began attracting more opportunities, as though the universe recognized her readiness to accept its gifts. Consider Frank, whose story mirrors this truth from another angle. As keeper of a small bookshop, he began a practice of giving away one book each day to someone who couldn't afford it. Instead of depleting his inventory, his generosity created a channel through which unexpected blessings flowed. Customers brought rare volumes to sell. Anonymous benefactors covered his rent, and his little shop became known as a sanctuary of literary treasures. The law of circulation moves like breath. What you exhale must first be inhaled. When you accept fully, you create space for more to enter. When you give freely, you open the channel for return. This is not mere exchange. It is the rhythm of abundance itself. Your ability to receive equals your ability to attract. Many spend years perfecting the art of asking while neglecting the equally vital art of accepting. They repeat affirmations endlessly, but maintain a closed posture toward life's offerings. Remember, the universe cannot pour more into hands already refusing what's been given. Let each thank you be complete. Let each gift be received wholly. Let each blessing find welcome in your heart. For in your acceptance, you declare your readiness for more. As the day draws to a close, find a quiet moment. Place your hand upon your heart and speak these words with serene certainty. I joyfully accept all the good meant for me. Then drift into sleep as one who knows they are an overflowing cup, ready to receive the boundless gifts that await with dawn's light. Chapter 15. The Music Between Thoughts. In the heart of a bustling city lived Dorothy, a woman whose mind raced endlessly with worries about tomorrow. Each evening she would sit at her window, watching the sun paint golden stripes across urban canyons, her thoughts tumbling like autumn leaves in a storm. Yet one twilight, Between her racing concerns about work and family, she noticed something extraordinary, a space, pristine and pure, between her thoughts. This space, this sacred pause, holds the secret key to manifestation. For it is not in the ceaseless chatter of the mind that miracles take root, but in the fertile soil of silence. When you learn to rest in these moments of quiet, you touch the very essence of creation itself. Consider the space between your heartbeats, that microsecond of perfect stillness. Within that gap lies infinite potential, just as the pause between musical notes gives rhythm its power. The universe does not create through noise and struggle, but through the quiet certainty of being. Milton, a dedicated craftsman, discovered this truth during a period of exhaustion. For years he had pushed himself relentlessly, believing productivity was the path to success. One afternoon, overwhelmed by fatigue, he surrendered to rest. As he lay there, allowing his mind to drift like clouds across a summer sky, something remarkable occurred. Solutions to problems that had long eluded him appeared effortlessly, like butterflies alighting on an open palm. This is the paradox of manifestation. The less you strain, the more naturally your desires materialize. The universe speaks not in shouts but in whispers, not in the whirlwind but in the pause that follows. When you learn to inhabit these spaces of silence, you align with the natural rhythm of creation. Your thoughts are like pebbles dropped into a still pond. The ripples they create are most powerful when they emerge from calm waters. Each worry, each desperate plea, disturbs the surface through which your dreams must reflect. But in the quiet between thoughts, the water becomes still, and the universe can paint its perfect picture upon it. Before rest, listen gently inward. In the quiet, I hear life loving me. Drift into that silent music. Chapter 16. The Law of Gentle Reversal. Along a winding mountain path, Sadie tended her small tea shop where travelers often stopped to share their burdens. Each evening she would listen to their tales of woe, offering not just warmth in a cup, but wisdom in practice. Through years of serving others, she stumbled upon a truth that would transform her life. When customers complained of rain, she would smile and speak of nature's blessing. When they bemoaned the quiet seasons, she would celebrate the peace. With each reframe, she noticed a subtle shift in the air around her, as if reality itself responded to this gentle redirection. The universe operates through this law of polarity. Every shadow points to light, every void beckons fullness, every complaint contains the seed of its solution. Your words are not mere sounds dissipating in the air. They are magnetic frequencies attracting their resonant experiences. Consider how water shapes itself to any vessel, yet remains water. Similarly, circumstances shape themselves to your perspective while remaining neutral in essence. The power lies not in denying what is, but in recognizing what could be. Porter, a frequent visitor to Sadie's shop, arrived one stormy evening declaring, "Nothing ever works in my favor." His business was failing, his relationship strained. Sadie taught him her practice of reversal. Each night before sleep, he would take his day's frustrations and speak their opposite into being. "My timing is always off" became, "Divine timing guides my every move." "I never have enough" transformed to, "Abundance flows to me in expected and unexpected ways." Within weeks, Porter noticed subtle shifts. a chance meeting with an investor, a reconciliation with his brother, opportunities appearing as if summoned by his renewed vision. This is not mere positive thinking. It is the conscious direction of creative force. The universe doesn't register negatives. When you say, "I don't want lack," it hears and responds to lack. When you say, "I choose abundance," it moves mountains to match that frequency. Your practice tonight is simple yet profound. Take each worry that surfaces and speak its bright opposite. Feel the shift in your body as you do this. Notice how your energy lightens, how possibility opens like a flower at dawn. Whisper, "Every contrast carries my solution." Rest in cheerful readiness. Let this truth carry you into dreams, knowing that even now, the universe rearranges itself to match your highest vision. Chapter 17. The Bridge of Praise. In the quiet hours before dawn, Sadie tended her small tea shop, witnessing how each complaint transformed into blessing through gentle reversal. As she practiced this sacred art, her understanding deepened. Every contrast contained its own solution, waiting to be revealed through acceptance and reframing. You hold within you this same power of transformation. When circumstance appears to oppose your desires, it secretly offers the very key to their fulfillment. This truth manifested perfectly in the life of Josie, who discovered the miracle of appreciation while facing mounting debt. Each morning, Josie would pause at the bridge near her home, expressing gratitude for the fresh air, the flowing water, the rising sun. Though her bills loomed large, she chose to sing small songs of thanks for her health, her home, her ability to work. With each grateful note, her spirit lifted. She began to notice opportunities she had overlooked before. A forgotten skill became a new income stream. An old connection opened an unexpected door. The law works with mathematical precision. Appreciation accelerates reality's response. By giving thanks before evidence appears, you align with the frequency of fulfillment. Your gratitude becomes the bridge between where you stand and where you wish to be. This truth found further proof in Lionel's story. Standing before empty kitchen cupboards, he made a choice that seemed foolish to others, but aligned perfectly with universal law. Instead of lamenting lack, he thanked the space itself for its readiness to receive, for its potential to hold abundance. Within days, unexpected gifts and opportunities filled not just his cupboards, but his life with prosperity. Your appreciation is not mere politeness, it is creative force in action. When you thank the universe for what appears absent, you activate its presence. This is not magical thinking, but magnetic living. Gratitude pretastes manifestation, drawing it forth from the invisible into form. The simple act of blessing what is, while giving thanks for what is coming, attunes your consciousness to abundance's frequency. In this frequency, limitation dissolves, replaced by endless possibility. As sleep approaches, say softly, "I praise the good unfolding now." Let that bridge carry you into dreams. Chapter 18. The Garden Gate. In a secluded valley, surrounded by ancient oaks, Abigail discovered a truth that would transform not just her garden, but the very soil of her consciousness. Each evening, as twilight painted the sky in gentle hues, she would step into her modest garden and speak softly to her plants, not with the forced cheerfulness of one expecting results, but with the natural tenderness of a friend sharing secrets. What she discovered transcends mere gardening wisdom. It touches the very heart of universal law. Your thoughts, like water to thirsty soil, nurture whatever they touch with regularity and feeling. The garden of your life responds not to the volume of your voice, but to the quality of your attention. Nature itself stands as the greatest teacher of this principle. In silence it demonstrates how growth follows appreciation as surely as dawn follows night. Your mind, like fertile earth, multiplies whatever you plant within it through consistent, loving attention. Eugene, an elderly orchardist, embodied this wisdom without knowing he taught it. His apple trees bore fruit in abundance, even in years when neighboring orchards struggled. Each night, before retiring, he would walk among his trees, touching their bark and whispering words of gratitude. "Thank you for your strength," he would say to one. "I appreciate your resilience," to another. Initially, some dismissed his practice as mere superstition. Yet as seasons passed, the undeniable vitality of his orchard spoke louder than any skepticism. The trees responded not to his words alone, but to the loving consciousness behind them. This illustrates a fundamental truth. Conscious blessing is not merely positive thinking. It is permission granted to the universe to express its abundance through you. When you bless with sincerity, you align with the natural flow of life's expansion. Every plant, every tree, every flower knows this law intimately. They neither strain nor worry about their growth. They simply remain open to nourishment, allowing nature's wisdom to flow through them. You too are part of this natural order. Your dreams and desires are like seeds, waiting for the warmth of your blessing to sprout and flourish. The practice is simple yet profound. Speak to your circumstances as Abigail spoke to her garden, as Eugene blessed his trees, with genuine appreciation and trust in the natural process of unfoldment. Sacred practice. As night approaches, find a quiet moment. Place your hand over your heart and whisper softly, "Everything alive conspires for my bloom." Let this truth settle into your being as you drift into sleep, knowing you dream as a seed already flowering. Chapter 19. The Feather and the Mountain. A merchant's daughter worked tirelessly in her small fabric shop, limiting her dreams to what seemed reasonable. Each night, Cecilia would gaze at the empty storefront across the street, a grand space she secretly yearned to fill, but quickly dismissed the thought as too ambitious. "The universe grants small wishes," she would tell herself. "Best to stay modest in my asking." Yet something curious began to unfold. One morning, a customer mentioned knowing the owner of that very building. The next day, a magazine featured an article about successful fabric emporiums. Soon, a banker arrived seeking investment opportunities in local businesses. These whispers of possibility weren't loud declarations. They were gentle nudges from a universe that recognized no difference between small and large manifestations. The law of attraction operates beyond human scales of measurement. When you drop a pebble or boulder into still water, the same principle creates ripples. Only your perception labels one impact bigger than another. The universe knows no strain in creating a raindrop or an ocean. Both flow from the same infinite source. In the quiet hills above the city, Ralph, a humble shepherd, experienced this truth firsthand. One evening, he wished for a fresh spring near his grazing fields. It appeared the next morning. Encouraged, he then dreamed of doubling his flock. Within a month, a neighboring shepherd retired and offered his sheep at a modest price. Whether the desire was for a cup of water or a flowing river, the universe responded with equal ease. Your limitations exist only in thought. The energy required to manifest a coin or a kingdom is identical. The only variable is your willingness to receive. The universe's abundance flows not through effort, but through alignment. When you release the notion that bigger dreams require bigger struggle, you allow grace to work at any scale. Think of a master painter. Does she expend more energy to paint a large canvas versus a small one? The technique remains the same. Only the surface area changes. Similarly, the universal law paints your reality with equal facility, regardless of size. Before sleep approaches, settle into your deepest peace. Release all concepts of hard versus easy, big versus small. Let your consciousness expand beyond these artificial boundaries. Say softly, "Big or small, all is easy for the infinite through me." Rest at unity with that ease, knowing the universe's generosity knows no bounds. Chapter 20. The Infinite Smile. In a quiet village among rolling hills dwelled a silversmith named Ida. Each day she crafted delicate pieces, yet her heart felt as heavy as the metals she shaped. Through years of setbacks, she had learned to wait for proof before allowing herself joy. One morning, as sunlight danced across her workbench, a strange thought whispered through her mind. What if happiness needs no reason? Taking a deep breath, she lifted the corners of her mouth into a gentle smile. Though nothing had changed in her circumstances, something shifted in the air around her. The universe responds not to what is, but to the feeling you hold about what could be. When you align your emotional frequency with your desired outcome, physical reality hastens to match your inner state. This is the sublime science of manifestation, the law that governs all creation, from the weightless feather to the mighty mountain. As Ida continued her daily practice of smiling without cause, remarkable shifts began occurring. Customers appeared with special commissions. Old friends reconnected bearing opportunities. Even her garden seemed to bloom more vibrantly. The law revealed itself. Joy anticipated becomes joy manifested. In the bustling market square, Gus tended his small spice stall. Having heard of Ida's transformation, he too began practicing this wisdom. Each evening before closing shop, he would pause to smile, imagining success already achieved. Within weeks, his modest stall attracted merchants from distant lands, eager to trade their finest spices. Your emotional state is the bridge between desire and manifestation. When you choose joy before evidence appears, you activate the magnetic force that draws corresponding circumstances into your experience. The scale of your desire matters not. The universe responds with equal ease to both modest wishes and grand visions. What appears as coincidence to others is actually the precise working of universal law. Your feelings are the template upon which tomorrow's experiences are built. By maintaining the vibration of joy, you allow the infinite to work through you without restriction. Before your head touches the pillow each night, let a smile grace your lips. Feel it radiating from your heart, blessing tomorrow before it arrives. This is not mere optimism. It is conscious participation in the creative force that shapes all reality. The nightly practice. Smile softly into the pillow and think, "My joy creates worlds." Let the smile linger into sleep. Part 3. The Harvest of Becoming. Chapter 21. The Law of Reflection. Fulfilled. In the heart of a bustling town lived Martha, who owned a modest flower shop filled with vibrant blooms. Each evening she would linger among her flowers, noticing how some thrived while others wilted. Over time, she observed a curious pattern. The flowers she felt most optimistic about invariably flourished, while those that stirred worry often struggled. This revelation led her to examine other areas of her life. She realized that her successful ventures had always been preceded by an inexplicable sense of certainty, a quiet knowing that suffused her being before any outer change manifested. The customers who became loyal patrons were the ones she had instantly felt drawn to serve. The partnerships that flourished were those she had approached with genuine warmth rather than desperate need. The universe operates through emotional frequency. Your feelings create an energetic signature that draws matching experiences into your field. When you maintain an inner tone of abundance, life orchestrates events to match that resonance. This is not mere coincidence, but the precise working of universal law. Vernon, who lived next door to Martha's shop, underwent a similar awakening. For years, he had seen himself as someone who barely got by, and his circumstances faithfully reflected this self-image. Then he began a simple practice. Each night before bed, he would imagine himself as naturally fortunate. He didn't force the feeling or pretend. He simply allowed himself to rest in the awareness of being blessed. Within weeks, his customers began treating him differently. Old debts were unexpectedly settled. Opportunities appeared that aligned perfectly with his talents. Vernon hadn't changed his actions dramatically, but his shift in self-concept had altered the frequency he broadcast to the universe. Your emotional state is not a response to your circumstances. It is the blueprint from which your circumstances are built. The outer world must reorganize itself to match your sustained inner feeling tone. This is why forcing change through action alone often proves futile. The universe responds not to what you do, but to who you are being. When evidence of your desires appears, celebrate it as confirmation of your alignment, rather than dismissing it as coincidence. Each manifestation, whether small or significant, demonstrates that the law is working precisely as it should. Your role is not to make things happen, but to maintain the feeling tone that allows them to unfold naturally. Before sleep, affirm, "What I feel good about expands gracefully." Dream in evidence. Chapter 22. The Circle Completed. At the edge of a quiet valley, Nell tended her small herb garden, carrying within her heart an old wound that had dimmed her spirit for years. Each morning she would water her plants while holding on to memories of past hurts, until one day she noticed how the herbs nearest to where she stood seemed to reflect her inner state, slightly withered despite adequate care. The universe speaks through reflection. Like a pristine lake disturbed by a single stone, your emotional vibration ripples outward, touching everything in your world. When you hold on to past pain, you create resistance in the very fabric of your experience. This resistance acts as a barrier, preventing new blessings from flowing freely into your life. As you release old grievances, you clear the channel through which abundance flows. This is not mere forgiveness for others' sake. It is liberation for your own spirit. Every resentment released creates space for fresh possibility. Every hurt surrendered becomes an opening for grace. In the quiet streets of an old market district, Clyde discovered this truth through unexpected means. For years he had avoided the path that led past his former business partner's shop, carrying the weight of their bitter falling out. One evening, feeling unusually peaceful, he chose to walk that way. To his surprise, he encountered his old friend, who had been hoping for a chance to make amends. Their reconciliation opened doors neither had anticipated, leading to a collaboration far more rewarding than their original venture. Your power to manifest lies in your ability to maintain clear channels. When you hold on to past hurts, you anchor yourself to old energies that no longer serve your highest good. But in the moment of release, you restore the natural flow of life's abundance. This is not about forgetting or condoning. It is about freeing yourself from the bonds of yesterday's pain. Each act of forgiveness realigns your energy with the infinite potential of now. As you release the old, you create space for new miracles to enter. The heart knows how to heal itself when given permission. Your role is simply to step aside and allow the natural restoration of harmony to take place. In forgiving, you do not change the past. You transform your relationship with it. And in doing so, you alter the vibration that shapes your tomorrow. Sacred practice. As night approaches and the world grows still, find a comfortable position. Place one hand over your heart and breathe deeply. Feel the warmth of your own touch as you say softly, "I forgive, I release, I renew." Let these words carry away any lingering shadows as you drift into sleep upon a cleared canvas, ready for tomorrow's fresh creation. Chapter 23. The Field Remembers. In a sunlit studio overlooking a bustling street, Opal arranged her watercolors each morning with quiet intention. For years she had painted scenes of joy and abundance, though her circumstances hadn't matched her artistic vision. One autumn morning, while sorting through her old works, she noticed something extraordinary. Opportunities and connections began appearing that mysteriously aligned with paintings she'd created months, even years before. The universe holds every positive thought you've ever released, like a cosmic ledger of light. These thoughts don't dissipate but continue resonating through the corridors of time, gathering momentum and substance. Each loving intention plants a seed in the infinite, and these seeds germinate according to their own divine timing. When you understand this principle, you realize there is no such thing as a wasted positive thought. Every moment of gratitude, every visualization of joy, every feeling of love continues to pulse outward, touching both past and future. Your consciousness creates ripples that move in all directions through time, not just forward. In a quiet bookshop across town, Chester noticed this principle at work in his own life. He had spent years writing kind notes in the books he sold, tucking in small blessings for unknown readers. Now, seemingly out of nowhere, opportunities for publishing his own work began appearing. Editors and agents reaching out through unexpected channels. What appeared as sudden good fortune was actually the fruition of seeds planted long ago. Your past intentions haven't disappeared. They've been gathering power, weaving themselves into the fabric of your destiny. The universe doesn't operate in linear time as we perceive it. Instead, it responds to the accumulated vibration of all your thoughts, past and present, creating a symphony of manifestation that plays across the dimensions of time. The apparent delay between intention and manifestation is an illusion. Every positive thought you've ever held exists now, in this eternal moment, working on your behalf. Understanding this truth allows you to release anxiety about timing and trust in the perfect orchestration of your good. As night approaches and you prepare for rest, this ancient practice will help you harness the power of your accumulated positive intentions. Whisper gently, "Every loving thought I've ever had now blesses me anew. Rest in timeless return." Chapter 24. The Threshold of Trust. A gentle merchant named Ruby tended her small shop at the edge of town, where morning light painted golden patterns across jars of spices and dried herbs. Each day she struggled between two voices within, one whispering of possible loss, the other singing of inevitable blessings. When customers grew sparse, her grip would tighten on what remained, until she noticed how this very tension seemed to repel the abundance she sought. The law of manifestation operates through absolute surrender. This truth, ancient as the stars, reveals itself in moments of perfect trust. When you release your white-knuckled hold on outcomes, you open the channel through which infinite intelligence can flow. Your role is not to direct the current, but to align with its natural movement. Think of the universe as an endless ocean of possibility. Your thoughts and feelings are like hands in the water. The tighter you grasp, the more the water slips through your fingers. But when you open your palms and float, the ocean supports you completely. This is the paradox of manifestation. What you surrender to becomes yours. What you chase retreats further. Floyd, a farmer who had lost his harvest to drought, discovered this truth one sleepless night. Instead of wrestling with worry, he chose to rest in complete faith. "The earth has never failed to provide," he whispered to himself. Without planning or pushing, he found himself guided to new methods of irrigation, and his fields flourished beyond previous yields. His peaceful expectancy accomplished what years of anxious effort could not. This experience illuminates a fundamental principle. Trust completes the circuit that effort initiates. Your actions plant seeds, but your faith allows them to grow. When you fully release your attachment to how and when your desires must manifest, you remove the very resistance that blocks their arrival. The universe responds not to your struggle but to your surrender. It is moved not by the intensity of your wanting but by the depth of your accepting. Every miracle awaits this final ingredient, the complete trust that what is meant for you cannot miss you, and what misses you was not meant for you. Before sleep, in that sacred space between doing and being, say quietly, "I trust the unseen more than the seen." Close your eyes into that confidence, knowing that as you surrender to slumber, infinite intelligence orchestrates all things in your favor. Let this be your nightly practice of perfect trust. Chapter 25. The Law of Delight. In the heart of a bustling market square, Vera arranged flowers in her tiny shop, noticing how the blooms seemed to dance when she hummed. For years she had approached her business with intense focus, checking ledgers late into the night and fretting over every detail. But something shifted when she began treating her work as play. The universe responds not to the weight of your effort, but to the lightness of your being. When you release the burden of seriousness, you align with the natural flow of creation. Think of a river. It doesn't strain to reach the ocean. It plays its way there, dancing around rocks and singing over rapids. Vera discovered that her most successful days came when she approached her work with a spirit of adventure. Rather than pushing for sales, she created whimsical arrangements that made her smile. Soon, customers were drawn to the joy radiating from her shop, and business flourished effortlessly. This is the secret hidden in plain sight. The universe itself is at play. Look at how stars twinkle, how leaves dance in the wind, how clouds paint pictures across the sky. When you join this cosmic dance, you tap into the original energy of creation. Irving, a watchmaker, had grown weary of peering through his loop at tiny gears. His precision work had become a burden until he began approaching each timepiece with childlike wonder. "What mysteries will you share today?" he would ask each watch that came to his workbench. Soon, his reputation spread as the craftsman who could coax life back into any timepiece, and his waiting list grew longer. What changed? Irving had rediscovered the frequency of delight. When you approach life with curiosity and playfulness, the universe mirrors your lightness. Opportunities that seemed locked behind doors of struggle simply float through open windows of joy. Your manifestations multiply when you release the gravity of must and should. The law of attraction responds most powerfully to the vibration of delight. Think of children building sand castles. They create worlds without effort because they're lost in the joy of creation itself. Remember, the universe isn't a stern taskmaster but a playful dance partner, waiting for you to hear the music. When you laugh, creation laughs with you. When you play, possibilities play along. Before sleep tonight, lie back and recall what made you smile today. Let that feeling expand until it fills your chest with warmth. Then, giggle inwardly and breathe, "Everything good loves finding me laughing." Drift joyfully into dreams, knowing that your delight is a magnet for miracles. Chapter 26. The Sacred Rest. In the quiet moments before dawn, Annie noticed how the world seemed to hum with unseen activity. For years she had fought against rest, viewing it as lost time in her pursuit of dreams. Yet, as she learned to surrender to sleep's gentle embrace, a profound truth emerged. Your rest is not mere absence of action. It is active participation in the universe's grand design. When you release into sleep, you enter the sacred workshop where thoughts transform into experience. Like a master craftsman who steps back to let the paint dry, your conscious mind must withdraw for creation to settle into form. Every night, as you drift toward sleep, the great cosmic loom weaves your thoughts and feelings into tomorrow's tapestry. This is why the ancient ones taught that dreams are not interruptions of life, but life's quiet continuation. In sleep, your vibration mingles freely with the infinite, unhindered by doubt or resistance. Annie discovered that her most meaningful manifestations arrived not through endless striving, but through peaceful surrender to rest. As she began treating her bedtime as sacred space, life responded with increasing synchronicity and ease. Wilbur, a retired musician, found similar wisdom when insomnia drove him to reimagine his relationship with rest. Instead of viewing sleep as escape from his concerns, he began approaching it as collaboration with divine intelligence. Each night, he would consciously release his desires to the quiet wisdom of sleep, trusting that universal forces were at work while his mind rested. Soon, His dreams became vivid with insight, offering solutions that had eluded his waking mind. More remarkably, he noticed that situations which had seemed tangled by day often resolved themselves by morning, as though sleep itself was a silent partner in manifestation. This is the deeper truth. Rest is not a pause in creation. It is creation's completing breath. Just as the soil needs darkness to transform a seed into a flower, your consciousness requires the sacred space of sleep to transmute intention into reality. When you trust this process, you allow the universe to work on your behalf in ways your waking mind could never orchestrate. As you drift, murmur, "While I rest, my world is reshaped in grace." Let that knowledge cradle you. Chapter 27. The Voice Beyond Words. In the stillness of night, Frances sat by her window, watching moonlight paint silver patterns on her garden. For years, she had filled every moment with motion and sound. Podcasts during walks, music while working, television before bed. The noise had become her constant companion, drowning out a voice she didn't yet know she needed to hear. One evening, when a power outage plunged her home into darkness, Frances experienced true silence for the first time in years. In that unexpected quiet, she heard something extraordinary, not with her ears, but with her heart. A gentle knowing, as clear as morning light, guided her to call her sister. That call revealed a family crisis she could help resolve, one she would have missed entirely in her usual noise-filled routine. Your soul speaks not in shouts, but in whispers. When you quiet the external world, you activate an ancient wisdom system that transcends logical analysis. This inner compass doesn't require validation or proof. It simply knows. Like the flowers that turn toward sunlight without questioning why, your intuition naturally orients toward what serves your highest good. Leon discovered this truth in his own way. As a financial analyst, he had built his career on data and spreadsheets. Yet something felt missing until he began honoring the subtle nudges he'd always dismissed as irrational. When an unexpected urge prompted him to take a different route to work, he discovered a small bookshop. Inside, he found not only a rare volume he'd been seeking, but also a notice about an investment opportunity that would later transform his portfolio. These moments of guidance aren't coincidences. They're conversations with the infinite. Each intuitive whisper is the universe extending its hand, offering to lead you through the dance of life. Your analytical mind sees only the steps directly ahead, but your intuition perceives the entire choreography. This sacred rest you enter each night is not a pause from living. It is living at its most profound. In sleep, the constant chatter of thought subsides, allowing your inner wisdom to rise like stars at twilight. Here, in this space between worlds, you receive the guidance that your waking mind often struggles to grasp. As you lay your head upon your pillow tonight, remember, silence is not empty. It is filled with answers. Your intuition speaks most clearly when you surrender to this quiet wisdom. Trust that while your conscious mind rests, a deeper intelligence continues to work on your behalf, arranging circumstances for your highest good. Practice. Whisper lovingly, "I am guided perfectly, easily now." Dream into certainty. Chapter 28. The Return of the Sentence. You have discovered an eternal truth. The whispered sentence that once required conscious effort now flows as naturally as breath. What begins as practice transforms into presence, becoming not just what you say, but who you are. Consider Winifred, who found herself smiling at life's small setbacks, realizing her nightly practice of peaceful acceptance had woven itself into her being. Where once she deliberately repeated words of serenity before sleep, now tranquility emanated from her without thought. Her colleagues remarked on her changed demeanor, though she had never spoken to them of her practice. The transformation had moved beyond words into pure embodiment. This is the sacred alchemy of devoted practice, when the conscious becomes unconscious, when effort dissolves into essence. Your nightly sentence is not merely a string of words, but a seed planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious. With each repetition, this seed grows deeper roots until it becomes inseparable from your nature. Jerome's journey mirrors this truth. After months of blessing his evening thoughts, he noticed peace had become his default state rather than his aspiration. Where once he needed to remind himself to remain calm, now serenity surrounded him like an aura. His very presence began to soothe others, though he spoke no words of wisdom. He had become the living expression of his nightly intention. This is the highest form of manifestation, when you no longer need to affirm what you wish to be because you have become it. The law of attraction responds not just to what you say, but to who you are. When your being aligns with your words, the universe cannot help but reflect this harmony back to you in countless ways. The sentence you speak before sleep is not meant to remain forever as conscious practice. Like a master musician who no longer needs to count beats, you will find your chosen vibration playing through you effortlessly. This is not the end of the practice, but its fulfillment, when the words that once required effort flow from you as naturally as your heartbeat. Practice. Before sleep, smile inwardly. My life now speaks my nightly sentence. Let embodiment complete intention. Chapter 29. The Radiant Chain. In the quiet dawn hours, Hattie noticed something remarkable unfolding in her small bakery. The gentle contentment she had cultivated through her nightly practice began rippling outward, touching everyone who crossed her threshold. Customers lingered longer, sharing stories and laughter. Her employees moved with newfound grace, their tasks flowing seamlessly. Even the morning bread seemed to rise with extra enthusiasm, as if responding to the elevated vibration of joy that now permeated the space. This is the hidden power within the law of attraction. When your inner light grows strong enough, it naturally illuminates others. Your personal vibration becomes a tuning fork, silently adjusting the frequency of your surroundings. As your consciousness expands, so too does your sphere of influence, creating a harmonious field that draws even more goodness toward you and those around you. Nelson, a warehouse supervisor, discovered this truth when he began maintaining his evening gratitude practice. Within weeks, the entire atmosphere of his workplace transformed. The same employees who had once trudged through their days now moved with purpose and enthusiasm. Productivity soared, not through increased pressure, but through the natural flow of aligned energy. What began as one man's commitment to inner peace became a catalyst for collective elevation. This reveals a profound truth. Your spiritual practice is never truly personal. Like a pebble cast into still waters, Your transformed consciousness sends ripples far beyond your immediate experience. When you raise your vibration through consistent alignment with higher thoughts, you become a living invitation for others to do the same. This is not through preaching or persuasion, but through the silent power of example. The universe responds to this expanded influence by multiplying your manifestations. As others begin to resonate with your higher frequency, their aligned energy combines with yours, creating a powerful collective field of attraction. What might have taken months to manifest alone now appears with surprising speed, supported by the synchronized intentions of all those you've unconsciously uplifted. This is the ultimate expression of the law, when your inner work becomes a blessing to others. Their awakened joy returns to bless you, multiplied. You become both the source and recipient of an ever-expanding cycle of good. As you prepare for sleep tonight, settle into this profound awareness. Whisper softly, "My peace blesses the world that blesses me." Let yourself drift into slumber inside that radiant loop, knowing that your consciousness is a gift that keeps giving, returning to you, enhanced by every heart it touches. Chapter 30. The Dream Made Flesh. In the heart of a seaside village, Lucille discovered the quiet revolution that had transformed her life. As morning sunlight streamed through her window, she traced the path of each small victory back to its origin. Those sacred moments before sleep, when she had planted seeds of faith in the fertile soil of consciousness. The universe responds not to the words you speak, but to the feeling tone that resonates within your being. When you align your nightly thoughts with the frequency of fulfillment, you initiate a cascade of creation that unfolds with perfect precision. This is not mere coincidence. It is the law of attraction expressing itself through the medium of your focused awareness. Consider how Arthur, the village clockmaker, held fast to his vision of opening a school for aspiring craftsmen. For 20 years he whispered his gratitude for this dream as if it were already accomplished. Then one morning, without warning or effort, a wealthy patron appeared in his shop, speaking the very words Arthur had been rehearsing in his heart. This town needs a place where traditional crafts can be taught and preserved. The power lies not in the length of time, but in the depth of feeling. Each night, as you lay your head upon your pillow, you are literally programming tomorrow's experience. Your subconscious mind, that faithful servant of your deepest beliefs, works tirelessly through the night to align circumstances with your emotional expectations. The sleep miracle operates through this profound truth. What you feel as you drift into slumber becomes the template for your waking reality. Your nightly affirmations are not mere wishes cast into the void. They are living instructions that the universe must fulfill. Just as water takes the shape of its container, life takes the form of your most sustained feelings. This is why Lucille's transformation appeared so effortless. She had already lived it countless times in the theater of her mind. Each night's peaceful surrender to positive expectation laid another brick in the foundation of her new reality. The outer world simply caught up with what she had already accepted as truth in her heart. Before closing your eyes, breathe pure certainty. I am living the sleep miracle now. Rest as Creator fulfilled. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. In these final moments of revelation, you stand at the threshold of a profound understanding. The sleep miracle is not merely a collection of bedtime practices. It is the awakening to your inherent creative power, the recognition of that divine spark that transforms thought into substance during the sacred hours of rest. Through these chapters, you've discovered that the whispered word before sleep carries the potency of universes. Not because the words themselves hold magic, but because they align your consciousness with the infinite intelligence that orchestrates all creation. This is the wisdom that has quietly shaped the lives of visionaries and masters throughout time. Each night, as you lay your head upon the pillow, you participate in a ritual as old as consciousness itself. Your thoughts, charged with emotional certainty, become the architects of tomorrow's reality. This is not wishful thinking. It is the precise operation of universal law, as dependable as gravity, as natural as breathing. The sentence you speak before surrendering to sleep is your communion with the infinite. It is your acknowledgement that you are not separate from the creative force that sustains all life. In those precious moments between waking and sleeping, you access a realm where limitation dissolves and pure potential awaits your direction. Remember, the power lies not in perfect words, but in perfect faith. The universe responds not to your requests, but to your resonance. As you drift into sleep, you enter the workshop of creation, where thought becomes thing, where dreams take form, where the impossible yields to the inevitable. This understanding is yours now, not as theory, but as living truth. You have learned to speak the language of manifestation, to trust the silence that follows your bedtime declaration, to rest in the certainty that universal intelligence is always working on your behalf. Let your nightly practice be your reminder that you are the meeting point of heaven and earth, where invisible intention becomes visible expression. Through your conscious participation in this eternal dance of creation, you have unlocked the doorway to infinite possibility. Rest now in the knowledge that every sincere thought you've planted in the garden of night continues to grow in the infinite field of potential, bringing forth harvests beyond imagination. You are the dreamer and the dream, the speaker and the spoken word, the miracle and its witness.
If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.